the station with the most local news. This is News 4 at 6:30.
Right now on News 4 at 6:30, we are live from the Buffalo Auto Show. We are bringing you the safest, the most popular, and the wildest rides.
Coming up, we will take you behind the driver's seat of this year's hottest rides. Plus, another health warning. Erie County officials say there is a second positive case of hepatitis A. Why the situation poses greater risks for the community.
And new details in a Buffalo homicide, what we've learned about the victim's identity, and the organization speaking out on her behalf. The Buffalo Auto Show is happening right now at the Buffalo Niagara Convention Center. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight at 6:30. I'm Christy Kern.
And I'm Dave Graber. As you can see, there are people starting to file in. Christy and I have actually been here since around 2 o'clock today when there were some people streaming in, but now that work is let out, more people are coming in and it is starting to get crowded.
Yeah, the show started at 11 o'clock this morning, and really there is a huge crowd here. There is so much to see. There's everything from cars to SUVs to your bigger pickup trucks, and also a lot of luxury vehicles as well.
We also have a couple of surprises that we're going to be showing you all throughout the show. You'll hear from some of the folks with the most knowledge here at the auto show, so you definitely want to stick around for that. Now, speaking about people coming out tonight, it is not a bad night to be out and about downtown here at the convention center as we take a look at our tower cam shot looking over downtown Buffalo. You can see it's not snowing right now, as Christy and I talked about a little bit earlier in the day. A little bit of a reprieve, if you will, a one-day reprieve before there is more snow headed our way. Let's go ahead and toss it over to Andrew Baglini for your forecast first at 6:30. Good evening, Andrew.
I hope you're nice and warm down at the convention center. It's a little chilly if you are heading on out, so not a bad night to be indoors. If you are heading out, be sure to bundle up. The good news is most areas not seeing any snow. The road's largely okay. But as you take a look at forewarned Doppler, we do have a few lake snow showers coming in across southern Erie County. It's mostly dusting some of the south towns. Not a big issue here. Coming in close to the Boston Hills. We've also got a lake effect snow band setting up over Ontario. And for North Country, that's some big time snow totals. Not seeing that here in western New York. On the left-hand side of your screen, though, you see that blue near Chicago. That's the snow heading our way tomorrow. And we're going to see widespread snow to wrap up your work week. Temperatures outside running in the teens. A bit of a breeze out there as well, generally around 10-15 miles an hour, enough to bring the wind chills down into the single digits. That's why I say bundle up if you are heading on out. Now, the snow showers we're seeing south of Buffalo will stay to the south, and we'll actually see them tapering off in the next couple of hours. So mostly cloudy, chilly, but dry for tonight. Temperatures drop off in the low teens and even some single digits. But coming up in your full forewarned forecast, we'll talk about that Friday snow, show you that updated snowfall map, how much to expect heading into the weekend. Dave and Christy?
Andrew, thank you. We're going to have much more coming up from the auto show in just a couple of minutes. But first, I wanted to get straight to your top stories at 6:30, and that includes another case of hepatitis A confirmed in Western New York just this week.
Yeah, officials say a homeless man who was staying at the city mission was hospitalized, and he did test positive. Erie County officials say that man no longer at the city mission and is being kept in an isolated place and being monitored. Officials say if you stayed, if you visited, or if you came in contact with someone at the city mission between these dates, listen up, January 24th and February 4th, you were asked to get vaccinated to prevent exposure. Officials say there is a higher risk of spreading due to the size of the homeless population in the city.
We are preparing for several hundred exposures. We really want to offer this to as many individuals who are at risk as possible. Again, there have been other outbreaks of hepatitis A among homeless communities in other parts of the United States, and we do not want that to happen here.
The city mission at Tupper Street will hold a vaccination clinic tomorrow. There'll be 2 time periods. The first is from 7 to 9 in the morning, and the second is from 4 to 7 in the afternoon and evening. Officials say this is not related to the case at Alley-Oops and Brookdale Senior Living Center in Williamsville.
Tonight, we've learned a Buffalo narcotics detective accused of driving drunk in his police-issued vehicle will appear in court February 20th. Detective Mark LaCicero was arrested early Monday morning in the parking lot at Wegmans on Transit after hitting a parked car. He's been suspended without pay by the Buffalo Police Department. An internal investigation is underway.
The Buffalo Police Department's specialized strike force is disbanding. The unit was established by Mayor Byron Brown years ago to fight back against gangs and drugs, and especially those instances in high crime areas. Recently, the group came under fire after some citizen groups accused it of targeting minority neighborhoods. Buffalo police say members of the strike force will be moved to road patrol, as well as some other specialized units. Now, tonight we have learned that Buffalo's first homicide of the year, first homicide of 2018, is now being investigated by the district attorney's office as a possible hate crime.
The victim was transgender and identified as a woman. The 35-year-old was shot and killed at Shepherd Street Tuesday night. Buffalo police first identified the victim as a man at the scene, but District Attorney John Flynn says the victim was a transgender woman. The Pride Center of Western New York says across the country there are higher rates of transgender women of color faced with violence or being killed.
We don't expect, especially in an area that feels really safe to our trans community overall, because we have services, because we have health providers who are willing to work with this population. It is just really shocking to know, even here, that somebody can be killed.
It is still too early to know if the victim was killed because she was transgender. The investigation is ongoing. An elderly man who pleaded guilty to attacking his wife with a hammer has been sentenced to 6 months behind bars and 5 years probation.
88-year-old Martin Turkowitz says he was trying to put his wife, who has dementia, out of her misery. Let's talk a little bit more about this story. Turkowitz admitted to hitting his wife in the head with a hammer several times at the Garden Gate Healthcare Facility in September. Prosecution, defense, as well as his family all agree this was a terrible mistake.
Our father is a man that made a horrible mistake, one he'll always have to live with. He has deep remorse for his actions and repeatedly promises never to harm Mom again. For her part, Mom forgives Dad without question.
An order of protection remains in place for Turkowitz's wife. It does allow the couple to see each other just so long as there is supervision. Now, a number of people living in low-income city housing saying they are being neglected tonight.
Some tenants have no hot water, others say they have bed bugs, and some say they have mold problems. News 4's Rachel Monjodi is taking us there to explain.
I either want them to fix it or find me a place to move if that's the case. But I really don't want to move. I shouldn't have to move because of their mistake.
Tenants at 3 separate apartment complexes owned by the Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority say they're fed up. A host of issues continue to pile up. News 4 talked to 3 tenants who would not show their faces on camera. 2 of them have been without hot water for days.
You can't take no shower, you can't cook, you can't wash. It's aggravating to be without water for 2 weeks. That's nasty.
If you have to boil some water and it's coming from them pipes, that ain't enough to give you a bath.
A Perry Street tenant says she's had mold issues in her bedroom for 2 years.
You can't sleep back there at all. If I had guests from out of town, they don't have a place to sleep.
Common Council President Darius Pridgen says he's received serious complaints about this Jefferson Avenue complex.
A senior citizen was found to be in her house for over a week with no heat, no hot water, and next door, a person in a wheelchair had no heat and no hot water.
The buildings are all owned by BMHA, but this one is run by Shinda Management. The council is now launching an investigation.
It has become a tad bit confusing of who is responsible for what. So what I've asked for is for the actual contract of Shinda Management. As of today, we have not received that contract.
Tenants say they want answers.
Get these issues done right, for people can go to sleep all right, like you go to sleep all right.
Rachel Monjovi, News 4.
Rachel, thank you. And we are continuing our coverage live right now from the Buffalo Auto Show. Here's a fun fact for you. The auto show started in 1999, but of course it has changed drastically since then.
There is so much to learn here, and to help us do that is Trey Barrett with the Auto Show to talk a little bit about some of the features and what people can expect. There will be thousands of people who will be walking through these doors this weekend. If people are curious about coming down, what should they expect to see?
Well, there's cars all over the place. Anything from Chevrolets and Fords to Kias and Mitsubishis and Maseratis and Subarus. Every car that you can walk into a dealership in Western New York is on display here. Every manufacturer.
It's definitely amazing to see. Now, the doors open today, officially kicking things off at 11 o'clock this morning. Obviously, we are seeing so many people here. It's been that way since the doors opened, but now we're starting to see, it looks to me a little bit more maybe after people got out of work. What do you have to say so far about, what you're hearing from people and the turnout so far?
We're thrilled. It's the weather's been great outside, and no matter what it is outside, it's 70 degrees inside. And it's really gratifying to see people come out, get excited about all the cars and trucks that are here.
You guys also have some features that are special to the weekend. They're happening Saturday and Sunday. Could you talk a little bit about that for kids and families and things like that as well?
Sure, we've got all kinds of kids' family activities. Marvel Comics Thor will be here Saturday and Sunday, as will a big giant robot named Gigamax right here in the Chrysler Dodge Jeep exhibit. The Superhero Alliance will be here Sunday, and the Northridge Star Wars Fan Force on Saturday.
Perfect. Sounds like something for everybody. Trey, thank you so much for the information. We definitely appreciate it. Of course, again, there is so much to see here, and there's a lot of questions that people have while they're shopping for a car.
Yeah, they definitely do. There are a number of questions that people have, and that includes, what is the safest? What is the most dependable? And, of course, how much can I get bang for your buck? We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up as well.